Whenever you ask someone who is the Doctor, many older fans would answer Tom Baker. Some may think that this is because of his long tenure, but when going back to the early years of his era, I believe the quality of these stories is the reason for this. The two leading men of this era, known as the Golden Age, Robert Holmes and Philip Hinchcliffe, worked closely together to bring in far more adult and gritty elements to the programme, which was then felt to need a shake-up. Hinchcliffe, who we'll be talking about today, came up with many of the ideas that are present in these popular stories, which Robert Holmes spread across them so excellently. So excellently, in fact, he needs a whole video to himself. Today, we will discuss Philip Hinchcliffe's life and why he chose to make Doctor Who far darker than fans could have ever imagined. Philip Michael Hinchcliffe was born on the 1st of October 1944 in Dewsbury, Yorkshire. Born at the tail end of World War II, he was not old enough to remember this fearful time. After moving down south, he was educated at Slough Grammar School and later Pembroke College, where he studied English literature. After a brief period working for a travel company and then as a teacher, he joined ATV in 1968, writing episodes for series including the soap opera Crossroads. He then served as script editor of the sitcom Alexander the Greatest, the children's adventure series The Jensen Code, and the children's drama series The Kids from 47A. The variety of script editor jobs made him known amongst the BBC. Hinchcliffe's contacts from ATV were aware that John Pertwee was handing back the TARDIS keys, and Barry Letts, then producer of Doctor Who, was also resigning. Letts, however, was looking for his successor. He wanted them to be good. Both his agent and contacts won him the position, and in spring 1974, at the age of 29, he was approached by the corporation's head of serials to take his first full production job, initially trailing and then succeeding long-serving producer Barry Letts. Although he trailed Letts on Tom Baker's first story, Robot, he was first credited on The Ark in Space. Throughout his first year, he was mostly producing scripts that had been commissioned by the previous production team prior to their departure. Terror of the Zygons, the first story of season 13, was commissioned for the finale of season 12, but was pushed back to the next series due to budget and time. But it would be this 13th season that would define this popular era. Planet of Evil was the first story to be commissioned by the new Hinchcliffe Holmes production team. During the previous season, the new Hammer horror elements were dropped in often enough to mean that after Terror of the Zygons was broadcast, it wouldn't feel like a completely new programme. The intelligence of the pair meant that these elements weren't too blatant and don't stick out like a sore thumb. The show had been more adult in tone before. John Pertwee's debut season 7, was notably gritty and felt very much like another sci-fi series, Quatermass. The long 7-parters filled the season to save budget, but I feel another reason was behind this. 7 parts made the pace significantly slower and felt more real. The show was criticised for being too violent and frightening for children, without actually asking these younger viewers. The gritty realism was minimised for the following 3 seasons, but Hinchcliffe thought this a mistake, and made his voice heard by bringing it back. Season 14's finale, The Talons of Weng Chiang, was filled to the brim with a dark plot, violence and horror. This was enough to cause the BBC to listen to Mary Whitehouse and effectively sack Philip. However, this has been contradicted in recent years, with Hinchcliffe outright saying that he left of his own accord.
So Dad, you left Doctor Who. Were you happy to leave?
Yes, I was. It had been 3 very heavy years. I was rostered on to do this new show, really.
This may have been an act of wire crossing. He may have simply thought that a comment of wanting to leave at some point meant that his head was right for the chopping block voluntarily. Hinchcliffe had left an indelible mark on the programme, bringing the series back to a new high. Robert Holmes had executed Philip's ideas, but he was not sacked. The pair had broken up, but who was Robert Holmes? That is a matter for the next video.